Whenever you decide to be a celebrity, specifically in this case, a K-pop idol, most K-pop idols probably have to start considering everything that they've ever done in their life before they decide to audition, the life they've lived as a trainee before they decide to debut, and even the life they live as a K-pop idol. This is something that probably stays on a lot of idols' minds, whether it's a minor situation that happened in the past or present, or even maybe something they consider as just them living a regular life. Becoming an idol means that you have to move on from things you once knew as normal. You leave your family behind to train, you leave your friends, and you drop out of school. But you also leave being able to have a normal life. And while idols might choose to leave their past in the past, that doesn't mean your past will be forgotten. And that definitely doesn't mean your past will not be dug up. There have been many situations that we've seen, especially in the past few years, but also years way before, where an idol's past or present behaviors have come up to bite them and possibly even ruin their career, forcing them to leave a group, forcing them to apologize for reasons that vary from being pretty bad, very bad, but also minor situations that a majority of us would consider to be normal. I can only imagine the type of anxiety idols must feel whether they have done something bad or not. They're constantly having to watch every little thing that they do because you never know who's watching, and the slightest mistake, the slightest hiccup, and your whole career could possibly be down the drain. I'd say being an idol is a great opportunity to live out your dream, to become worldwide famous, possibly well financed, and garner love and appreciation from fans all over the world. But as we all know, it is also a very dark path to choose, with even their private life being deemed by the public no longer private, and whatever they do in the dark will most likely come to the light. They have to be very careful with picking who they choose to be friends with. They have to be careful with who they choose to give information to. They have to be careful with who they choose to be in a relationship with, and even who they choose to interact with. And in the case of Sunghan, they even have to be afraid of close friends one day turning on them. Something that I always think about as well with all these accusations from staff members of certain idols having bad attitudes, having moments where they weren't the nicest. But if you put it into a scenario, like imagine, and not to excuse these idols, but imagine you're an idol. You haven't slept for days. You're only able to eat certain foods, so you don't have the energy you need. You're on the go constantly. You're having to balance your feelings and how you appear to other people. You have one moment of stress, anxiety, everything all at once, and you lash out. Everything that you've held back for weeks and months, however long, you let it all go in one moment because you can't take it anymore. Viewing that from a human perspective, that is something that is totally understandable. And imagine that one moment being turned against you and now being viewed as your personality, now being viewed as the type of person you are. Also, another thing that is probably so stressful for idols, especially ones who are not from well-off companies, is possibly having the thought in your head of whether or not you'll get a win, whether or not your group will last, whether or not you'll be able to have a stable income, whether your training was for nothing, whether this hit song that you've finally been able to get will help you have a stable career in the industry. A lot of idols have even said that once they debut, they always have in the back of their head, what if we go nowhere? Fans actually play a huge role in idols' lives, with everything being crafted for fans, like the idol's image. Fans also play a huge part in how an idol's career may go, especially whenever allegations are brought up. So the real questions that I really want to ask K-pop fans are, what type of allegations would you consider to be something an idol could never come back from, that you would personally never forgive? What are the type of allegations that you consider to just be mistakes and something an idol can learn and grow from? And if they do learn and grow from them, are you willing to forgive them? Are you willing to be a fan of them again? What does it take to be forgiven?